why is everyone crashing out over cat ears and an animated sword in Sea of Thieves? You see, this year has seen some of the best items added to the game. We've got new curses, a metric ton of pirate-looking cosmetics, the Fallen Sea Dog set is finally making its way into the game, and most controversial of all, some cute little cat ears, and a sword that rolls a coin over its fingers. But those last two I listed, wow, gamers hate these items. Or to be more specific, they hate what they represent, and they also just hate them. So let's take a look at these evil, cursed items, and maybe we can figure out what exactly there is to hate. First up, let's look at the new super cute, super kawaii Neko Neko Nya cat ears bandana, which is being given out as a Twitch drop over on twitch.tv/Toxie Sinclair. And other streamers, I guess. Now, I've been begging for cat ears to be added into this game for years. Literal years. Ever since I ran into Rare employee Becky Frost back in 2023, it's become a bit of a running gag. Wait, can I pitch something to you?
Yeah.
Cat ears. Cat ears for the pirates. Cat ears.
I feel like I may have seen this comment a couple of times before from you.
Cat ears are charming, and there's so many cats in pirate pop culture that it just feels like a perfect addition into a game that's already filled with banana and pufferfish hats, a kebab sword, and whatever the hell this thing is. Sea of Thieves partner but still plays the game Hitbo TC, on the other hand, hates the cat ears. And this sparked up the first bit of discourse over this item, because according to Hitbo, the cat ears are, and I quote, "the dumbest thing I've ever seen in terms of things being added into Sea of Thieves." This coming from a man who glazes the ever-loving Christ out of the burnt peanut is so funny to me, because we all know if SOT added a burnt peanut cosmetic like Fortnite did, he'd be all over it like he was on Twitter when the burnt peanut became popular. You see, the biggest argument Hitbo and others are making against these cat ears is that they aren't piratey enough for the game, and follow on with a sentiment that the game just doesn't receive enough pirate cosmetics in general, which is honestly laughable. I mean, just this season we received a bunch of cosmetics that scream #piratecore. We got a bunch of silver coin clothing items in the Outpost stores, a new curse to earn which borrows its theming from the ancients we've previously seen in the game. There's an entirely new pirate/masquerade theme in the Emporium, and a sword made out of Buzz Lightyear's broken arm. Give me 5, man. Anyway, this got me thinking. This game has always been marketed as a silly pirate game. I mean, they literally got this to happen in its early years.
Press conference thing of.
And despite all the cooler and more serious looking clothing items to dress your pirate in, this game has never stopped being quirky. There's so many kooky, silly items that have been added into Sea of Thieves throughout its life that no one's ever really batted an eye to. That was until the cat ears. So what exactly is it about the cat ears that got not only Hitbo, but a bunch of gamer boys a little riled up? Because it can't be it's just too silly or out of place when the game literally lets us dress like John Halo. There has to be something underlying, almost insidious, about these cat ears. You see, cat ears in popular online culture are often ascribed to women, trans girls, furries, and femboys. And all of these demographics being catered to at once can make an insecure man feel a little insecure. It questions their perceived status quo as the core demographic to be catered to. When that worldview is contested, you start to see a lot of this happening. That's why we didn't see the same type of outrage and pushback back when they added the banana hat. There's no minority demographic to ascribe to such an item, which is where I believe the actual outrage to be, even if no one wants to admit it. You can see this in the way people talk about the cat ears, ascribing gender to them without even realizing they're doing so. And speaking of the banana hat, I've seen people defend it along with the pufferfish hat as ocean and tropical themed, and thus acceptable for Sea of Thieves, while they claim the cat ears are a bridge too far. Like bro, you realize sailors and pirates had cats on their ship for pest control, along with their +10 to any luck stat, right? Besides, are you really saying you wouldn't want a cat girl to keep you company on those lonely nights out to sea? Yeah. But anyway, there's also an underlying sentiment against LGBT people when talking about cat ears, and that's due to the connection between cat ears and the LGBT. Like I said earlier, this is a demographic that in popular online culture has adopted the cat ears in some way, especially trans women. To the average cave-dwelling homophobe, cat ears being added into the game is just another reason for them to throw their toys out of the pram and point fingers at everyone while they proclaim the game is dead because of woke. And bear in mind, it's just cat ears, bro. The only other time I've seen this type of pushback for a cosmetic added to the game was when they added the Progress Pride flag. That should give you a little insight into how we all subconsciously view cat ears and what and who they represent. There are so many people excited to dress their pirate up in cat ears. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean shit. The world doesn't revolve around you. I'm starting to think this community has a real hate anything that's different issue, because when Sea of Thieves tried to move to a monthly update cadence with the free act structure back in season 17, the sentiment was that none of it was good enough, right? But when the devs agree that the content added during this period wasn't up to standard and retreat to start again with a better plan, now people are mad that there's no new adventure content. But this is illustrated best with the new season pass. Now, I'm not saying the new pass structure is better, but I wouldn't say it was worse either. It's just different. And the flagship for this new season pass is this animated sword, the Harbinger of Doom, Mrs. Nesbit's broken arm. Cause yeah, this change to the season pass model shook up the community, as it's fairly different from the past 19 predecessors. You see, the original season pass system worked like this. You had 2 tracks of rewards, one free and one that you had to pay real money for. That hasn't changed. On the free side, you could earn gold, worthless, doubloons, was worthless but not anymore, ancient coins, yippee, and bespoke seasonal cosmetic, from ship parts to dusty old hats no one uses. If you were a pirate legend, you'd also earn exclusive cosmetics that usually come from important NPCs, like Belle's jacket or Grey Marrow's boots. The paid side of the season pass would come with just 2 things, ancient coins and a brand new ship set. Now, the new season pass still works this way. Sort of. There are still 2 tracks of rewards, one free and one paid for, with the paid for side still rewarding players with a brand new ship set, along with enough ancient coins to refund the cost of the season pass. But the free side of the season pass is where the big changes lie, and what's gotten players a little upsetty spaghetti. First and foremost, there's a complete lack of free ancient coins. This means if you're a player with less disposable income, well, you've just lost one of the only 2 ways to earn premium currency for free, and that really sucks. However, this is sort of balanced out by one of the new types of free rewards. You see, every 5 levels, players can select 1 of 3 Emporium items. So although you can no longer earn free ancient coins to buy items from the Emporium, you can still earn Emporium cosmetics, though maybe they're not exactly the ones you want. And personally to me, this is the only real issue I see with the new season pass structure. I think locking off free ancient coins and offering players Emporium items is somewhat worse, simply because you're taking away the player's choice. And even though the value of these Emporium items outweigh the amount of free ancient coins a player could earn in previous seasons, well, sometimes your options are between a turd, a poop, and a shirt. Now, aside from the Emporium items, the free side also offers players doubloons, totaling to 425 doubloons, which with the new Doubloby economy system is kind of a sizable chunk of change, and a good step to unlocking the curse worth making 2 shorts on. It's also worth mentioning that new items are added to Duke's shop every month, giving these doubloons you receive from the pass actual value. The free side also offers players a selection of special voyages, ranging from supply runs that give you an insane amount of food and cannons to gilded voyages which are freaking awesome. I think giving players voyages actually worth doing in the pass is such a good change, because it's awarding players actual gameplay and not just another dusty old hat. But the final item on the pass is what, in my opinion, redeems a lot of the negative changes. And bear in mind, this is free to every player that completes the pass. At the end of the pass, players are rewarded with what Rare describes as a star prize, an item that's quality outmatches almost anything added into the game prior. For this season, it's the Greed's Reach Cutlass, and this thing is so freaking cool. So check this out, right? It does this cute little animation if you idle for too long, it reacts to your movements and jumps, balls up a fist when you block, and does this cute little skelly claw when you do a sword lunge. The trade for such a cool item is losing the amount of free cosmetics previous passes gave us. But honestly, I'd rather have one insanely cool item than a bunch of dusty old hats I'm never gonna use. It's like asking someone if they want 5 $1 bills or 1 $50 bill, you know? And with that said, the devs have stated that the development time that went into these older free seasonal cosmetics will be used to fill out the outpost stores. But we'll have to let this whole thing marinate a bit longer before we can say for sure if that's a good or a bad thing. One thing's for certain though, despite the pushback for the new season pass, I think the star prize sets an exciting precedent for future seasons. Like, this is just a sword. Imagine what a hat might look like, maybe with some flaming feathers coming out of it like Genetic Gal Gaiga's hair, or a ghostly ship hull that animates like a real ghost ship, or better yet, a ship hull that transforms into a pirate captain and lets you walk along the seas and kill all your enemies. There's a lot of possibilities, and I'm excited to see what is added next season. I think something a lot of you all need to remember is you probably paid 20 quid for this game. And how many hours of entertainment have you received? It's probably a good couple of hundred. And for some of you, like Hippo, in the high thousands. Maybe instead of focusing on the things you dislike, focus on the things you like about the game. Or I might have to force you to where the cat is.